About 3 weeks ago, my entire life got flipped completely upside down. I lost my relationship with my best friend and my partner after 6 years of being, the biggest part of my life. And after losing her, I really had no idea what I was going to do. I I ended up doing exactly what I've always done. I avoided being uncomfortable. I I avoided the uncomfortable truths. I avoided why we ended and, the patterns that brought us there. I looked everywhere except inward. And for those 2 weeks, I begged and I pleaded with her and I bawled my eyes out to her. And all I wanted was just another chance. I wanted another chance to finally do things right. But for those 2 weeks, no matter how hard I tried, it it didn't get anywhere and nothing changed. And the more that I fought that reality that, things were done, the more it not only hurt me, but it also pushed her away even farther. I spent 2 weeks doing that, spiraling, not being able to face, the uncomfortable thoughts and the reality of my situation. And then finally I woke up one morning and something just clicked. I I decided I didn't want to feel that way anymore because I didn't see a way of continuing. Not only was all of this happening, but I have been struggling with depression and alcohol for a long time. And so finally this was the breaking point for me to finally face those uncomfortable truths. And I decided it was finally time to stop running from myself. So finally I woke up and instead of, running from my issues and running from the thoughts that I kept packed down, instead of running away from my mind, I finally decided to sit with it and try to find out what was causing these issues from me and try to identify the patterns that, ultimately brought us to our end. I made the decision to start journaling. I made the decision to start going on hikes and start going on walks. So I have more alone time and I can't do anything but be there with myself. Doing these things and working out, it gave me, more mental clarity. It gave me more time to finally unpack and finally, sit with my thoughts and, not go and drink or play video games and hide from it, but to truly face it. And just after a few days of doing that, I realized that I didn't need my ex girlfriend. And I was forcing a lot on her as far as me needing comfort and reassurance. And I just felt like I was not okay until I knew or until she told me that she was okay. And I started to identify these dependency issues. And it all stems from me being uncomfortable. I realized a lot of things like a relationship can't be carried by one person. I didn't realize that it was emotionally. I didn't realize that she was carrying all this emotional weight and I felt misunderstood. But now I can see both sides clear and it makes me feel a lot better, but it also makes me feel like shit because if I would have realized these things earlier, I wouldn't have been put in a position. I would have never hurt her. So now I realize that, a relationship is built with two individuals that are completely whole on their own, that choose to love each other and choose to grow together. Can't be forced, can't make someone want to love you. Has to be chosen. So here I am, about a week into this journey of honesty and self reflection and finally being truthful and realizing why I have these issues on my own and what kind of issues that brought into my last relationship. And I'm not here and I'm not doing this because I wanted to do it. I'm not sharing these things because it comes easy or because now I think I'm perfect. At first, I started doing the journaling just out of necessity because I did not see any way forward. I had lost my reality, and I realized that over the 6 years of being with my partner that I had lost myself too. And now I'm doing it because I want to. Because I want to feel better and I want to be able to face reality with myself. And I want to share with all of you the very rough and, at least for me, unknown path of changing habits and looking inwards and really making a change so that to control what you can control in life. Now, my goal with doing this, I want to do this for an entire year. And I can't promise that it's going to be as consistent as, starting out right now, because I hope that one day I get to a point where I don't need to do these long, extensive journals every day. It can be something short and simple, and maybe I can just do a weekly recap, or I can start sharing, more of my hobbies. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to look back in a year and watch these and just be like, holy fucking shit. I do not even recognize who this person is. And that's ultimately what I want to get out of it for myself. And the reason I'm posting these is to, like I said, hopefully inspire some of you. Hopefully, if one of you are struggling to get up out of bed, do something simple, take care of yourself, look inwards. If you're having issues with your relationship, if you're having issues with your mental health, anything like that, I hope that there's something that I can say that resonates with you and shows you that you can do it, that things can get better, that you can be a partner worth love. You can lose weight. You can be happy. You can get that job. You can do any of those things. And those are things that I've all worried about and doubted. I didn't think that I could stop drinking. I lost 100 pounds about 6 or 7 years ago, and I didn't think I could lose 100 pounds. I put some of that on, and that's also going to be part of my journey that I'm going to be sharing. Um, but yeah, I want to show the raw and honest parts of this because that's something that I didn't see before on TikTok or social media. I've always seen the, oh, it's been a year since my girlfriend and I broke up. These are the things that I did on during that year that made me change. And I feel like just seeing this would have helped me. I appreciate you guys, and I hope that this reaches some of you and, makes you feel some sort of way. And I hope that seeing me improve every day shows you guys that you guys are capable of that too, because I'm not special. I'm not doing something incredible that, is super unique. I am doing this young, and, I look at my parents that have very similar issues, and, they kept those issues all the way up until their 50s, and they're going through divorce. And that's not what I want. I don't want to be 45 and an alcoholic with a wife that hates me. I don't want to hate my job. I don't want to get home every Friday and want to drink and not remember the weekend. You only live once, and I know that that's very cliche, but I want to take advantage of it.